After 2 days were washed out, the LV County Championship match between Hampshire and Derbyshire finally got underway in Southampton, with the home side's batsmen using their time at the crease valuably, especially Jimmy Adams, who hit 100. Wayne Madsen won the toss and decided to have a bowl first. No real surprise given the recent weather and the green nature of this pitch. A pitch which was to play very well throughout the day, which may have shocked the Derbyshire skipper. Liam Dawson and Adams got their side off to a slow but steady start. It took the visitors 50 minutes to get their first wicket, Tony Palladino catching the edge of Dawson's bat to have him caught by Martin Guptill after facing 39 balls for his 6 runs. That brought Bilal Shafayette to the crease for his first innings as a Hampshire player, and he began it by neatly clipping Palladino off his legs for 4. As a young man, Shafayette appeared to have a big future ahead of him, but things never really worked out in 2 spells with his home county Notts and 1 with Northamptonshire. Having been released by Notts in 2010, Shafayette has spent the winter playing first-class cricket in Pakistan. He'd also been signed up for Shropshire for their minor counties campaign this year and only registered with Hampshire last Friday after scoring runs for their second 11. He got off to a roaring start here and fitted into his new team very nicely indeed. He dealt mostly in boundaries as the Derbyshire attack failed to always put the ball in the right place. Adams was back leading the Hampshire side after missing the last couple of games for personal reasons. He was a little more watchful but was equally impressive when he was given some balls to hit, as he and his new partner carried their side through to 92 for the loss of Dawson's wicket at lunch. The final over before the break really saw Shafayette hit his stride as he struck Ross Whiteley for 3 successive 4s. To say that Whiteley was struggling with his line and length is a bit of an understatement, but the ball still needed hitting and Shafayette was in no mood to miss out on such friendly deliveries. All that helped him reach his 50 at the start of the afternoon session. A nudge off David Wainwright took him there off only his 57th delivery. 40 of his 50 runs had come in boundaries. Derbyshire began this match on top of the LV County Championship Second Division table, but this was not to be one of their better days. After a slow start, Adams was now coming to the party as his side pressed on with the sun making a very rare appearance. He too reached a half century. He got there with his 9th 4 off 104 deliveries. It was a notable return for the Hampshire captain. As with the morning session, the afternoon very much belonged to the home side, who really began to enjoy themselves. The ball certainly didn't do anything like Madsen had hoped for when he won the toss, and both Shafayette and Adams took full advantage of that. It was becoming something of a dream debut for the former Notts man, who's a player who's never lacked in confidence. He of course had been given his opportunity here after Michael Carberry was called up for the Lions, and he was clearly determined to make the most of his opportunity and impress his captain as the partnership reached 164 in 39 overs. Shafayette looked set to become the first Hampshire man to score 100 on his debut since Andy Bickle in 2005, but just 7 runs short, he pushed at a wide ball from John Clare and nicked behind. It ended a fine knock. Often, after a substantial partnership like that one, another wicket falls quickly, but not here, as Adams, using his big backlift to good effect, continued to play with a lot of confidence and authority. He hit Wainwright for 2 4s in 2 balls to head into the 90s. Wainwright had some joy before tea, however, as he got one to turn back to bowl Simon Katich. The Australian bowled for 7 at 213 for 3. But nothing could stop Adams, and he swept Dan Redfern to fine leg for the 3 runs he needed to take him to 3 figures for the first time this season. After what was a tough start in testing conditions, it had turned out to be an exemplary innings. He'd hit 15 4s from 176 balls to get his ton. Derbyshire were probably now sick of the sight of him, but he now kept going either side of tea with James Vince. Madsen had shaken the hands of Adams as the players left the park for tea, and Adams' extremely impressive knock showed no signs of abating as he went into the final session. His timing and placement were out of the very top drawer. Vince also played some very nice shots as Hampshire batted themselves into a good position, although only overnight agreements between the two captains can surely get a positive result from here with 2 days lost. This pair carried the total to 278. Vince made 36, but he then edged Wainwright, finding a bit of additional bounce behind. And in the next over, he was followed back to the pavilion by Adams, who perhaps should not have been sent back by Sean Irvine, who'd only just come to the crease. It was the only way Adams looked like getting out. Madsen supplying the throw as his opposite number departed for a brilliant 122. Derbyshire were having their best period of the day. Palladino soon had Sean Terry leg before for 3 to leave Hampshire on 292 for 6. Irvine and Michael Bates made sure that a sudden collapse didn't happen against the second new ball. Both played some attractive shots in adding 31 for the 7th wicket to take the total to 323 before both again fell in successive overs. Irvine got a leading edge off a ball from Tim Groeneval to be held by Whiteley on 24. And Bates, in spite of a solid-looking defensive shot, was bowled by Clare for 17. Kabir Ali in his first match of the summer and David Balcombe then earned their side their 4th batting bonus point before the end of the day. So now we wait to see what happens next. Hampshire went to bed on 352 for 8 and the forfeit of a couple of innings would set up the game rather nicely on the last day. Time will tell as to whether that happens or not.